All right, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're in a little bit of uncharted territory. I'm all the way on the west coast of Florida. So this morning, woke up real early, picked up my buddy Dennis, and we took the 2-hour drive across the state. We're in like the Marco Island area. Don't have any expectations. I feel like a little kid out here. I haven't been here in several years, and I'm excited for this adventure. It should be a fun challenge. Definitely looking for some redfish. I haven't caught a redfish in 2-3 years, and that's the goal for today. So as always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. After a nice little run in the Ginu and a gorgeous sunrise, Dennis and I pulled up to a fishy looking mangrove shoreline, and I wasn't even rigged up yet before he deployed his drone and was looking to spot a fish.
Right on this drone, baby. So that took all of like what?
I don't know.
About 2 minutes?
If that.
Beautiful red. You should see it right now on your screens. I'm filming him.
It's a pretty fishy morning so far.
We gotta rig something up real quick because he's moving right
All right,
now.
let's do it. All right.
Let's get on him.
We're gonna get a cast on this fish. He just spotted it with the drone. Pretty sick. Fishing in 2023. All right, so real quick, I gotta speak to you guys quickly and let you know what's going on. So I just got rigged up. Dennis has been flying the drone for like 5 minutes. He's on top of a redfish. I'm gonna do my best to get a cast on this thing and try to get the eat on film. It'll be absolutely sick if we can make this happen. So wish us luck. Here we go. I'm using a gulp shrimp, by the way. That's the beta choice. Look, show me where.
Tyler, it's like right there. Isn't it crazy? He's making no weight. Right there.
Is he facing left or right?
He's facing to the right.
Is that region?
If you make a cast and you really like, if it's in front of him, he'll smell it. So I would spot left here. You're just short. That was a little short, a little closer.
What do you mean I'm short?
Like make a farther cast.
Oh, he's closer to the bank?
Yeah.
If you look at the bank real quick, would you be able to tell me?
Yeah, I can try. He's like right in between the gaps, like one of those gaps.
I just don't want to spook him.
He's facing us. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let it sit. Oh my god, he's got it.
No way! What? Is this life, bro? Is this real life?
What?
Are you kidding me right now?
That's saw me, dude.
Oh my god. Hands down the coolest fishing thing I've done in a long time. Oh my god. Dude. Absolutely incredible. Oh my god. That is so epic. Dude. Oh my god, Dennis. Dude. That was so cool. I'm speechless. I'm in awe of what just happened. Dennis is the absolute man. Now we gotta get him on a fish. Believe it or not, this is one of my biggest reds ever. We really don't see reds back where I live, back where Dennis and I live on the East Coast. In the region of the East Coast that we live in, there's just not a lot of redfish. I think he was telling me he's caught one ever over there, and I've never even caught a single one. Oh, come on, baby. Oh. Whew. Check this thing out. Dennis spotted him. He was up on the shoreline, real close actually, just feeding, and put a cast as close as I could to him, and he smoked it. I don't even know how to land this thing. Wow, bro. What a fish. Dude, check this thing out. Gulp shrimp worked perfectly. Look at his scale pattern. It looked like he got messed up by something. Really cool. Got that signature false eye in the back here. Every redfish typically has this. Sometimes they have multiple spots, and they use this spot. Basically, it's a false eye because a predatory fish will hunt this fish, and they'll go for that false eye, and then the red can kick away and swim off. So it's a defense mechanism against bigger predators, especially when they're juveniles. I don't know, man. I want to let this fish go, but I also haven't ate a red in forever. What do you think, Dennis?
You got a coin?
I don't. Remember, we didn't even have any coins at the
toll booth.
At the toll booth. Dude let us go without the coins. Shout out to that guy. I owe him 50 cents.
That's so sick, bro.
I mean, bro, couldn't get any sicker.
What a way to start.
Couldn't get any sicker. Yeah, literally. Fishing for less than 5 minutes. That's the wrong side. 23 inches. All right, we just measured this fish. It's just about 23 inches. It's a gorgeous fish. It's gonna be like a delicacy for me. I never get to have redfish, never get to catch them, but I'm gonna take this one home, cook up a nice recipe, something Cajun or something like that, and I'll show you guys that as well. So this one's gonna go in the ice box behind me in the Yeti, and then let's get Dennis on a fish. Off to a great start. Super thrilled, so happy we made it out here. Dennis has the drone back up. Just put that redfish in the cooler. Really, the more I think about it, I'm super excited to eat that fish. I appreciate its sacrifice, but it should be a really cool meal. And yeah, we're gonna try to spot another fish with the drone. It's actually Halloween day. Nobody out on the water with us, which is perfect. We're in our 30s, so we have no need to celebrate Halloween. All right, Dennis just spotted another red with the drone up here on this shoreline. Heading that way with the trolling motor. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. You want to cast at this one?
No, go ahead. Let's try to get it.
All right.
I got the drone. Right behind that tree.
That one way up there?
There's like 2 sticks sticking out.
Yeah, I see them.
3 sticks. He's in between.
In between all.
Between the 2 of them.
I can't reach that.
On the far left. Oh yes, yes. Let it sit. He's going towards it. He's going towards it. Let it sit. Let it sit. Twitch it. Let it sit. He's looking for it. Yep. Hold on. Let it sit. Let it sit. I think he smells it. Smallest twitch in the world.
So one thing to keep in mind here is Dennis is actually looking at this drone shot in the moment on his phone screen. So he's trying to explain to me how to retrieve the bait in order to get the fish to eat. And in this situation here, the water was a little bit dirty, and understandably, he just lost track of the bait, and we were not able to get this fish. But take a moment to just appreciate how flawlessly Dennis lands the drone. What a pro. Get your rod out, bro. Oh. I think so. I'm tight. Oh, that looks like a trout. Or is that a ladyfish? Or is that a little snook? It's a little baby snook, yeah. Casting up here on these, what we think are reds. We landed the drone. It's running out of battery. But this little baby infant juvenile snook came up and ate the gulp. Oh. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna let you go. There it is. Probably all of 12 inches. I usually fish a bait bigger than this when I'm snook fishing. Sucks on your thumb just like the big ones do. See you, dude. All right, so basically right now we're just cruising down this shoreline. It's probably been about 45 minutes since we caught that first red. Dennis actually put the drone back up and he's doing some scouting. So we've seen a couple on this shoreline, so we're just gonna work. I got a search bait on right now. I wanted to show you guys. It's a gold spoon. Don't have a lot of experience with this, but I think it might get the trick, or get the job done rather. So let's see. I'm gonna hop up here and start casting.
I think this is a snook. I think this is a snook.
So you can see here, Dennis spotted a pretty decent snook with the drone. Then he proceeded to throw his topwater and almost immediately hooked up with something. There it is.
This is no way this is a
That's
snook.
not the same fish? I don't know, man.
I don't know, but all right.
Nice, dude.
First fish of the day. First fish of
a while.
We're not even,
oh, there she goes on the topwater.
Yeah, it's not, you know, to handle small fish on the boat. Let them go.
Yes, especially with the treble hooks.
Possibility you might hit more.
Yep, not safe for anybody involved. All that shows me is I gotta put a topwater on. That's what I learned right there. Oh, you got one. Dennis hooked up. Little sheephead, that's crazy.
I've never caught a sheephead. So there are tons of sheephead out here. But catching a small one like this, very unusual.
Yeah, especially since he smoked the lure.
Yeah.
I actually want to do a video where I target big ones. There's some big ones back where we live. That did not go as planned. I got it. I'll show you guys this fish. It's a pretty cool little fish, super spiny. Gotta be careful. There it is, little baby sheep's head. Get him back in the water. All right, it's now the late morning, actually probably about midday. Dennis and I have been running and gunning all over this body of water, this bay, but not much to show for it since that redfish. A couple little tiny fish, small snook. Dennis caught a little sheep's head on an artificial lure, so we just pulled up to, we're waiting for the tide to come in. That's kind of what's keeping us from catching a lot of fish, I think, right now. So it's also the hottest part of the day, but things should get better as the afternoon continues. And we're gonna come up to this point right here. Looks like a little bit deeper water. Dennis already saw a fish blow up here, and we're just gonna wrap around and then follow the tide in. So let's see what happens. Hope to get some more reds, maybe some snook, and it'd be cool to catch a trout too. I haven't caught one in a couple years, and I think Dennis was saying he hasn't caught one either. So yeah, we're gonna get casting. There we go. Dennis with a snook.
Now loosen up the drag on this boy. All right, well, we kind of switched things up here. Kind of. In this area, I say, like, you know, you can't really overcomplicate things as far as your lure choice goes, right? I say a shrimp pattern, a swim bait pattern, maybe a top water. I mean, this is a small guy. Oh, he wants to get in the boat. Okay. Little guy. A lot of fun. We've seen some big ones on the drone, which I'm sure you'll see on in the video, but tons of these little ones out here. These are the juveniles, but
Trout.
oh, that's a nice one.
Dude, he came up and smoked it. That was crazy. Oh, I got the speckled trout. Oh, we technically caught a slam today. It's jumping like crazy. I'm gonna wet my hands before I handle this fish. Pretty little fish. I'm gonna get the hook out and get it back in the water. After letting that little trout go, we hopped around for several hours with not many fish to show for it. One thing about the west coast of Florida in my experience is you really have to have the current fishing pattern dialed in order to catch quality fish and see consistent results. Despite the slow fishing, the scenery and wildlife we encountered really reminded me of how blessed I am to experience days out on the water, even if we weren't slaying a bunch of fish. And to share the trip with a great friend like Dennis made it that much sweeter. Alright, so Dennis and I switched over to some top waters. He's throwing a bone, which is a white color, and then I'm throwing this one here. It's like kind of like a clear with an orange back. So we'll see what gets the bites. Well, I just took a cast in this river system. We were still basically running, and it got ate right away. I don't know what this is. I thought it was gonna be a ladyfish, but it hasn't jumped yet, so maybe it's a jack. Still throwing the top waters. Really hoping for one more game fish. Yeah, it's a jackie. Oh, that's pretty cool. Got 2 on 1. This is not staged. Make sure I don't break my rod here. A 2-for-1 special. That was pretty funny. They're both fighting for the lure. They both got caught. All right, I gotta be careful here. Let me see up. Take those. Focus her. Hopefully I don't get bull shark right here. There goes 1. There goes 2. That's it?
No.
Nice.
It's a game fish. If it's a trout, it's a nice one, but I think it's a small snook. Oh my God.
What just happened, shark? Oh, the jacks are on it. You got a jack. Oh, it's gonna rip it out of its mouth. All right, so Dennis is hooked up on something decent, but now the jack's just, I think he ripped it out, no?
Yeah.
No, did he? Oh,
yeah.
What a bastard. I think you had a nice...
That was kind of crazy though.
I think you had a nice snook. So Dennis just had a fish. Probably was gonna be our closer fish. And these jacks are so relentless. He just literally came and ripped the plug right out of that fish's mouth. All right, so we're officially getting off the water. We were out here all day. The sun's setting right behind us here, and we still have a 2-hour drive to get back to the East Coast. All in all, it was a really fun day. Had a really good time out here. It was quite the adventure. Kind of uneventful. We did get a slam, which was pretty cool. Snook, red, trout. That's an inshore slam here on the West Coast. So I don't think it's gonna be our last time over here. Had a lot of fun. I wanna come back, try to learn this fishery a little better, dial it in and catch some bigger fish. But this is not the end of the video. I will see you guys at the cleaning table. We're gonna clean up that redfish and then we'll cook it up some cool way and try it out. I haven't had redfish since I was a teenager probably, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. See you then. Alrighty, here's that nice redfish that we caught in the video. Can't remember if I mentioned or not, but they need to be between 18 and 26 inches to keep one. It's called a slot size. And I believe it's 1 per person per day. But we were only gonna keep the 1 fish just because I wanna try it out, make up a nice recipe and see how it tastes. I wanna compare it to like snook, which I catch a lot around here. Redfish, like I said, we don't really catch too often. So looking forward to having this fish. I let this fish sit overnight on ice, which I do with most of my fish if I have the luxury to do that. It just gets the meat really chilled down. And I put some salt water in there as well to create a brine. So this fish is ready to be filleted. Just using a standard Dexter fillet knife. I'm not even sure what the model number is. But here we go. Gotta have my original incision up near the head. Then I'm gonna cut up this way. Head meat's kind of hard is what I'm noticing right away. Turn the blade of the knife. I don't have much head meat, it doesn't feel like. Now, just like any fish, gonna run my knife right down the backbone. Just making little tiny slices like that along the way. Pretty standard. This is not a tricky fish to clean, I don't think. Scales are kind of thick, but nothing out of control. Get all the way down to the tail. There's that false eye. So now what I do here is I can start to lift the fillet and then slide my knife kind of gently just along the backbone as I lift the fillet, separating it from the carcass. So you could hear there, that noise is the raised part of the backbone. So you come right to that. Then what you have to do is angle the knife down on the other side, so that way you don't miss any meat or miss as little as possible. So the knife is angled down over this raised backbone. So now I'm gonna do where I made my original incision up here. One pretty smooth cut all the way down to the anal fin, which is right here. And that basically completes the outline of the fillet. Then I could just lift the fillet like this and just separate it from any other parts it's holding on to. Cut this little separation here. Boom, there you have it. That's the fillet. Now I'm gonna take it off of the skin. All right, so when skinning a fish like this is pretty thick skin, pretty thick scales, so I don't think it's gonna be too challenging. So what I do is I take a little piece near the tail like this, and I kind of hold it just to get my knife in there. Now my knife's in there, now I have something to hold on to. So the skinning process is just your knife running flush in between the meat and the skin of the fish. And what I like to do is I kind of seesaw is not the right word, but kind of saw the knife back and forth like that. We're trying to keep it as smooth as possible all the way. Should separate there. First thing I notice is that the skin is super thick, which I think helps with the skinning process. So just like any fish, or most fish, they do have pin bones right in this area. What I'm gonna do is just cut the pin bones out like this. Really easy. It's usually right like in the center of the fish. And you can just feel with your hands. Every fish is a little bit different depending on how far their pin bones go down the fillet. So I'm fortunate enough to live on a canal here where I could throw my fish right in the canal, and it just feeds all the life here in the canal, the crabs, little fish, turtles, whatever. So just a little bit of advice: if you're going to be throwing fish in the water after you clean them, you want to poke the eyes out, and you could poke the swim bladder out too, and that way the fish actually sinks to the bottom. If not, it'll float up to the surface as the gases expand, I believe is what happens, and it'll smell really bad. So if you do it that way, you won't have any stench in your backyard, and the fish and the turtles and everything get to eat. So there you have both of the fillets. Gonna get these rinsed off with some salt water, and we'll meet you inside the kitchen. We'll cook them up. I'm thinking about doing like a Cajun recipe, since it is a redfish, and I'm looking forward to trying it, seeing if it resembles any fish that I catch often. I said in the video, or previously in the video, I don't remember the last time I had redfish, but I think I was probably 16 or 17 years old. So looking forward to trying it out. I heard it's pretty good, and I remember it being pretty good. So we'll just have to see. See you guys in the kitchen. Welcome back to the kitchen. Let's jump right into today's recipe. We're gonna do a little vegetable medley with our fish today. So I'm keeping it super simple. Just have some zucchini and some squash and red onion. But first things first, I'm gonna take the zucchini and the squash and I'm gonna chop them up into about 1-inch cubes. Moving on to the onion here. I personally like caramelized onions, but not if the pieces are too big. So I chop this bad boy up a little finer and put it into a separate bowl. That way I can get it started in the pan right away. Alright, let's get started on the fish. So I melted some butter in this little glass ramekin, and I'm gonna spread it across all the redfish fillets to act as a coating for our seasoning. Giving these fillets a quick rub down, making sure the butter is distributed evenly, and then I thought it was only fitting to season them up with some blackened redfish magic. It looks like I'm going in with a lot of seasoning here, but keep in mind that some of it's going to come off in the pan, so don't be afraid to give yourself a nice healthy dose when you're blackening fish. Threw the zucchini and squash in a mixing bowl. Now let's hit them with some avocado oil, some salt, some pepper, garlic powder, and finally some paprika. Give these a little stir and they're ready to go on the pan. Using a gas stove here on medium heat, and I decided to go with a wok to cook the veggies in. Sticking with the avocado oil here, and then we're gonna go in with the onions. Now it's important to go with the onions before you do the rest of the vegetables because they take a lot longer to cook, so we just want these to break down and start to caramelize before we add the zucchini and the squash later on. Waited a few minutes for the onions to cook most of the way through before adding the zucchini and squash. I still want a little bit of a crunch on the other veggies, so not cooking them as long will allow me to accomplish that. While the veggies finish up cooking, let's get started on our redfish. Skillet on the stove, medium-high heat, some avocado oil, followed up with some butter, and we're ready to get these fillets going. Getting the fillets in the pan seasoned side down, just trying my best not to overcrowd the pan. Once they're all in, I'll season the other side and then cook for about 2 minutes before flipping. This fish ended up cooking really quick, only about 2 minutes on each side. And as you can see here, I'm just double checking with a fork, making sure they're cooked all the way through, which they were. And I always tend to undercook my fish rather than overcook it, because once you pull it from the heat, it continues to cook on the plate until it cools down. And just like that, we are done with this super simple recipe, and I'm excited to try it out and see how it is. Alright, so we're about to dig into this redfish. Got my pops with me. I was filming the cooking portion by myself, but he was cool enough to help me out with the camera, so we're gonna taste this out. Like I said earlier, I haven't had redfish, I think since I was a teenager, and I think that's the last time my dad had it too, so. I wanted to do kind of like a Cajun theme, but I was feeling pretty tired today and I had that redfish seasoning, so we just did it with that. I felt it was fitting, so let's try it and see how it is. That's pretty good. Very good. The redfish seasoning might be like a tad overwhelming, but it's pretty good. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. 8 or a 9. Alright, so that's all I got for today's video. This was a special one for me. I got to go out on the boat with Dennis, and he had that drone, and that fish, that redfish, I mean, it wasn't a very eventful day as you guys saw, but that redfish eating that gulp shrimp, and we had it lined up with the drone, and it was just, I don't know, I'm almost speechless right now, and I was speechless when it happened. It was so surreal, it felt like I was dreaming. But I'm gonna try to bring some more content like that to you guys in the future. Hopefully I can get Dennis back out on the boat with me, but if not, I'm gonna get my own drone so I can bring those kind of shots. If you enjoyed the video, hit it with a thumbs up. Any suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comments, and we'll catch you guys in that next video. Thanks for tuning in.
I enjoyed it. That's why I give the thumbs up.
Good.